Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining us for another super exciting episode of the 3D Shenanigans. Mr. Deviant is here all the way from so many millions of miles away on the Southern Hemisphere. Wonderful to see you. Mr. Leo is here from Canada. Nancy from the West Coast. Mr. Brian from New Jersey. And Miss Julia from Florida. And anyone else who's out there watching, thank you so much for dropping by. I really enjoy that you enjoy what we enjoy, so let's all enjoy things together. I think from the future, that's right, let's not forget you're from the future. Oh, it's not just future Brian, it's also, and because you're from the future, obviously sometimes letters get cut off and need to be delivered in the second sentence. I totally agree, it's just what happens. So you're from the future, it's Brian is from the future, I'm from the future, but you're more from the future, which is cool. I thought before we get going, I wanted to show you something that I might even turn into a clip or into a separate video. I don't know. It's about this little AnimX cats that I have purchased while it was on sale. And I've just got it open here and I thought we can have a quick look at it because there's some things that I didn't quite show in the wolves video. Plus, of course, this is the latest version here. I'm going to just go and say... what was it called again? VSync editor 1, and then I don't have any screen banding here. I don't know why that isn't disabled, but it isn't enabled by default. Let's have a look at the little cute cats because they're just very, very cute. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is that we can change the fur as we go and jump and run, and all these little cats, they're looking at me, which is kind of cool. There's this menu here. Let me go and put that on the side here. This menu on the right, it sort of shows you what you can do. So first of all, we can go and press, I believe, M to change the styling of the shading of the fur, how the fur is displayed. So dither hair shading, dither is a little bit can look funky. The default one is quite nice. This is the wet one, and this is the dither with lit shading. And the little cats, they're looking at me, which is really nice. Default lit shading, I think that's what we're going to stick with. And I think T will change the style of your cat. So depending on what you want to run around with. Gray is like, we used to have a cat like that. Alex, he was like that. And so every cat is looking at me. But you can also ask them to follow you. So go up and say E. Okay, white cat's going to follow me. Maybe another cat. You look like me. I don't want you to follow me. Maybe you. Yes, you follow me as well. Perfect. You. And you too. Black cat will also follow me. So these guys can follow me. So this is look at constrained. And the way that works is if you ever needed a cat to look at something, there's this little stage over here. These points, they're the ones that the cat looks at. As you get closer, it has a radius. And it's nice that they show you this. You can scroll the mouse wheel to go away a little bit, and then he looks up that. And then if you need him to look down at something, tear yourself away, then here it is. Now he's looking at that. So as you walk by, the idea is that he's supposed to sort of look at that. Doesn't always work, but that is my experience, that when you go and put that in now, he's supposed to look down. He doesn't really do that. I don't know why. Usually he does. The demo effect. Yeah, so there's that. And quadruped IK works just like on the fox that I've shown you, or the fox on the wolf, for everyone, NPC or non-NPC. Very cool. Yes, I think he's walking on air because it's this is like a glass thing into which he looks down. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. Ooh. And everyone who follows you sort of tries to look at you, tries to look at you. That's quite nice. Yeah. Size comparison. Leave feedback, rate the package. And one thing that we weren't quite sure if it exists or not, there's different animations for the cat. So E, I think, is the same as for the wolf. You can just go and sit. That's quite nice. You can also lie, of course. That's important. You lie and then you go over here and you sleep. So I think those are pretty much the same, adjusted for the cat. Naturally, sleeping cat goes and wiggles ears and sometimes moves mouth as well. No, I don't think so, Deviant. I don't think this is for the intro, but I bought it because I was so enamored with the wolf pack. And one thing I wanted to show you is that, well, this dig, I don't know if cats do dig. I mean, I suppose they can, but this is probably just the same animation as we have for the wolf and the dogs. This is lick as well. Lick paw, so that's washing himself. That's quite neat. So that's definitely what cats do. And if you had a person next to him, he would go and snuggle up against them. So petting is possible as well. But the most important thing that we need, as you well know, is this one, drop item. So that's the one when you're on top of a ledge and there's a bottle or something, then you gotta sit down and then you just do this. Very important animation to do. I don't think the transition works quite nicely, but that's something you can probably adjust to. The shoulders, I don't think I like what the shoulders do. And also I would probably go and do this a little bit faster and have him go do this once or twice, because you gotta touch an object and then move it off the little move it off the ledge. Very important. Maybe I can do that with Cascadeur. Yeah, so that's really all I wanted to show you. So the cat pack does indeed work exactly like the wolf pack. And it's sort of cool to play around with this. I'm not planning to use this at the moment, but maybe if we do need a funky player character, maybe we can go and use the cat as the player character. So rather than having the humanoid character walking around, we can use this in the carnival scene that I've also bought from Machine Gun there, as I said last time. And that's just what I wanted to share with you. So there we go. Advanced Cats by IndieCat. There. It might be an idea, yeah, let's have the cat sneak into the movie theater. That might not be a bad idea. So today, speaking of the movie theater, I want to do two things. And one of them I've already got in my Open Explorer window. It took me quite a while to hunt this down. So today I want to go and put something on the screen. Now that we've got the curtain that opens, but something needs to play back. And this is the original video that I have running in my current intro, which is in Blender. So in Blender, I can take the video file right away and let it roll. But Unreal Engine, I sort of can do that, but the performance literally just tanks. The moment you put in a H.264 video, it can sort of play it back, but it has huge struggles doing so. So I think I'm going to convert this into an image sequence that I can then use on a media plate and then put that where the screen is, and then I can just cue it in sequencer and there's no performance penalty. I will have to use a proxy because I think even 1K footage might have Unreal Engine struggling there. 4K footage also, but I think I might just go and I'll try to use it as it is, and then if we do need a proxy, we'll make a proxy out of it. But yeah, this is what we're going to use as an image sequence, so that maybe the clock goes as the curtain opens, and then we have 3 shenanigans, and then, you know, that's that. Mr. Dragonade, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. And because I don't actually know how to do this in Resolve, I'm going to go and do this in Premiere. Also, here's some music that I'm hoping we're all gonna hear. Yes, I can hear it. You can hear it. I hope it's not too loud. So Premiere first, bit of prep work, and then we're going to go and take this into Unreal Engine. So one thing I can't actually work out yet in Unreal Engine is our screen is curved. It's not just a plane, it's a curved space. And it should be possible to add an animated texture to Unreal Engine. I just have no idea how to do that. So we're going to have to leave that for another day. And I'm going to go and hide the current screen. This is what it looks like here currently. This is actually a curved place, and I'm going to go and just hide it and put my own thing there, and then, you know, the media object, the media plate object on top of it. Okay, import thingy into that. The hiss that goes into here. Clock sequence, check. How's your mom today, Nate? And in order to export that as an image sequence, we will do We don't have to put it on a sequence. We can just go and Control E from here, I think. Call 1-800-CARBON for all your burnt popcorn needs. Brian, what was your experience with Headshot 3? You said you had some issues there. Leo had some issues. Open project. The file path does not exist on disk at this location. Because it did a minute ago. Also, why is Premiere open twice? What? What? I'm so sorry. I don't really understand what just happened there. Why is it open twice? Let's close that. That's odd. This one here, cancel. We don't want to do anything here. Premiere 2025 is open. We want to close that, don't we? And this is 26. We want to be. We what? Let's save it. Perfect. That something's gone major wrong here. Like you gotta close, man. Premiere 26. Come on. Oh, that is bad. That is sad to hear. I haven't actually bought it. So going by that, perhaps I shouldn't. Not ever having used Headshot 1 or 2 ever. Perhaps I'm okay not owning it, potentially. So that's cool so far. This is also good. And then it's because it's Control-Shift-E, isn't it? That is what we need. In fact, this one here, Control-Shift-E, that's it. No, also totally not. Man, what is it? Have I forgotten all my shortcut keys here? Export media, Control-M, there we go. What was Control-Shift-E then? Oh, that's export textures from Substance Painter. That was unrelated to the... Man, it's just, too many shortcuts, I tell you. And our project, I believe, is... here, perhaps. Yes, that is where that is. So this is where we're going to put it into, I'm thinking just content, movies. Let's do that. Movies, and we'll put that into another folder here, which is called Clock Sequence V1. Okay, then Unreal Engine isn't going to yell at me. Location is here. Perfect. And it's not going to be video file. It's going to be... I vote for a PNG with... We don't need the proxy plates. We can go and match the sequence. Nope, not at all. Premiere, not at all. That's totally not what we want. We want to use PNG, and then in video we want to use match source, right? Yes, exactly. Export as sequence. We do not need an alpha channel, but thanks. And we'll just call that 3ds clock v1 underscore, and then it should append a 4-digit thingamabob at the end. Export. See if it works. Control-Shift-Q, escape, open, Apple, power off. That's the one exactly. It's classic, isn't it, Nate? Why, Adobe? Why? Crazy stuff. Yes, perhaps with Headshot we just need to give it a hot minute for them to fix things. I'm hoping, Leo, that you actually just forgot a tick box that was something similar to ERC freeze, something along those lines, because that can't be can't be for real that you can only use it for still images. We want to use it for animation, so... Yes, that's true. Nobody's ever going to hit that by accident. True that. Hard work exporting this, I can see that. It's not easy. I'm going to go and bring up our project so we can try to import that already. Starting it takes a second as well, so... Okay. That isn't it. No, that is also not it. This here is it. Oh yeah, so the other thing I want to take care of aside from the screen is the people in the foyer close to, like in the back area where I couldn't change the size last time. I think it could have something to do with it being sort of multiple copies of the same people in the sequence. So I'm just going to go and grab a fresh copy of the guys who stand in the entrance area. I'm just going to go and duplicate that, and then I'll do what we did last time. They already have the correct scale, so I'll just move the pivot point and move them where they need to be, and then we're just going to see a few people just standing there waiting just to sketch in some more people. So isn't that always the case, Leo, with sizzle reels? Everything works perfectly with the guy who's demoing it, who had rehearsed it, who's edited it, over-voiced it. Took basically 8 hours to produce this 5-minute video, and of course everything works really well. I love to see the outtakes and the recordings, and because it happens to me all the time. Oh, now we go and do this, and that shouldn't really happen. Why did that happen? 10-minute research. Oh, okay, just restart the project and then it's kind of okay. That sort of thing happens all the time. Thingy was are we done here even? We are done. How am I going to answer that question? 653 changes to source content files have been detected. Would I like to import them? Yes. Was that a good idea? Do I want to even do that? That should be in movies. In movies we have that. And that is now all of this here. Technically, those don't need to be textures. I just wanted to put them into this folder, but that was overkill. I can totally see that was overkill. We do not need all of these things as textures. That's cool. That's totally fine. I'm gonna go and test that first before we do anything untoward. Let me go and right click here, and then is it in media? IMG media source. This is what we need. This is going to be our actual clock file. So I'm going to call this one IMG clock. That'll do. Yeah, you did not need to import that. I do apologize. That was not good. And then when we open that, we can just point it at that location once 600 odd files are successfully imported here. Namely here. And we do that. Pick the first one, and it's assumed it's an image sequence. All I need to give it, I think under advanced, is the frame rate, which NAN isn't correct, so ours is 60 frames. And then we can go and open it, and that should show us the thing. Or it doesn't. That is also quite possible. Maybe we just need to go and, you know, let it do its thing. Sometimes, Nate, you just gotta test things. Like with the size shenanigans here. It's probably a good one to begin with. Save it all, man. Save it all. It's good. Oh, this morning, and I suppose yesterday already, I did the mission in Cyberpunk for the paralysis for Jeffrey, Jefferson, and Elizabeth. Paralysis. And I found the secret room in their house that they didn't even know existed. And despite Elizabeth's pleads, I have decided to tell Jefferson the truth about what's happening to them. Followed the van, was able to totally figure out somebody's messing with their brains. And yeah, I totally told them, I told Jefferson the truth, even though Elizabeth thought, you know, I shouldn't be doing that. We should both be lying to her husband. I decided, nah, you guys are paying my bills. I'd rather not. And so what happened now is that he sent me like 12 text messages, but when I respond, it says contact no longer exists. And then shortly after, I got a message from her that says, you are now blocked. We don't want to talk to you anymore. I was thinking, oh, rude. Like proper rude. It's a good mission, isn't it? I have to say. Really, really enjoyed it. Oh, you made the same choice. Excellent. Yes, she doesn't like it. But I couldn't really live with myself thinking that, you know, we're lying to the husband. He needs to know about it, and what he wants to do with it is sort of his beef. I have a feeling they're going to come back. I think this isn't quite over yet. This is great here. I've learned something new today. On all our projects, I always keep the image sequences outside the project directory. And every time Unreal Engine yells at me with a little exclamation mark here under sequence path that it says, it's not really in the project. I mean, it's in the project, but it's not in the content directory. And it really doesn't like that. It just tells you, because it just references an external directory. And I'm so glad I never took it seriously. This is the first time I'm doing it to put it into the content directory. Look at the amount of time we just have to waste waiting for 600 frames. It's crazy. So that isn't well done. Tells you one thing, and then when you do it, you actually get penalized by an early death waiting for it to do its thing. That was that was in Cyberpunk, Nancy. That wasn't in real life. I don't know anyone named Elizabeth Perales who's running for mayor. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. It's a good mission, I have to say. It's there's so much stuff happening. I did 3 out of 4 qualifying races for Claire as well. So, and I'm still not even 50% done. It's crazy. Let's just wait some more until whatever is happening is happening. In fact, let's play Cyberpunk while this is going on. The source file. Just want to make sure the source file is how big was that? 14 megabytes. And Unreal Engine is turning it into a 60 terabyte affair here. Loving your work. Loving your work. Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. Leo, that sounds exciting. Oh, we're not finished. I'm so glad we have things to talk about while this is doing its thing. Can we open this now? No, of course not. Yes, we can. There we go. So it's sort of playing, but I think it's not happening in real time because even with the 1K sequence, Unreal Engine has serious issues. So let's do one of 2 things then. First of all, let's make a proxy with this as well. And then second, let's go and put this into that directory and call it proxy. And for that, I actually have it doesn't really matter what this is called. It just goes and works it out. I do actually have a preset for this, which is this one here. And I'll go and put that, sadly, in the same directory, because why don't we do that? Popeye, how's it going? Good to see you, good to see you. I'm just doing some prep work so that I can put a moving image onto this space here. that currently says the space for rent, so we'll probably want to replace that with something more meaningful. Happy Monday! Yes, this I hadn't expected. It's import insanity. I think when the next question happens, do I want to do this? This is totally what it says. What am I saying? I'm saying don't import. And don't ask again. Don't. There we go. Okay, now I can say proxy override. So mine is proxy. And at that point, I may have to go and open this again. Good to see you too, buddy. This is still part, this is rendered in iRay. This is still part of the very first 3D Shenanigans sequence I've rendered. And now we see much fluider playback here. That's quite nice. I don't think it's actually using the proxy just yet, but that's cool. We can probably open that up again. Under, where were we again? Here, movies. Here it is. Open. Now it's using the proxy, and now you can see the green bar. Everything can be in memory. So now it's going to be a little fuzzier in the preview, but the moment I disable the proxy, we're all good. And look, this is another cool feature here on in the browser right now. I have nothing showing, it's just a black picture. But if I go and park my playhead on something that I'd like to see, like this, I can say thumbnail, and then it goes and shows me that. Is that cool or what? So then it's a little bit of just a hint of what the sequence looks like. So we should now be able to use that directly in here. We can probably save that as a new level under testing here. Clock testing, like so. And then we don't want people in here and used sequences already. Let's go and take that away. What's this over here? Cylinder. Cylinder can stay. We're okay with that. So we go and drag this in. And oh, do we need to... We probably need to make our own texture with this as well, because first of all, I don't know where the front or the back is. So let's add another level sequence for this. To here, to here. Clock testing. And then we'll bring that into here. I would like to disable autoplay so that it gets synced with what I've got here. Let's see if it's the right way around. It is not. So this is the right way around. Okay. So bring that here. And then also ideally we probably want to have that maybe at the bottom. Pivot set as pivot offset. And something else I want to do is the emission on this. So it's probably a little dark right now, and it really depends on how we've set our lights here. Or do we actually have a post-process volume? Yes. So we don't want to do auto, we want to do this manual. Yeah, so as I do that, I need control over the brightness of this. And we do that with a bit of emission. Clock testing. Hence, let's static mesh component. Let's see, that material is currently in the material instance of the animation, and the parent material is an engine material. So I don't want to adjust that. I want to make myself a copy of that, potentially in maybe cinematics. Maybe in cinematics. Cinematics, good idea. Let's put it in assets. Let's put it in assets instead, and call that media plate. Go put that back, and then media plate. I'm going to go and grab this out and copy that into here. Now I can go and call it MMJ's media plate. Opaque, perfect. An option to turn off shaders? No, not really. You need shaders, otherwise things don't really get they don't really get displayed. So all I want to do here is add myself an adjustment value like a multiply, and put that to here. And hence you can't also disable the shader compilation. I'm going to call it strength and just put it to 1, and that means I can then override this. In fact, put it into a group called override, so I can go and find it, and that is a parameter. Apply and save. The only thing that doesn't know about this yet is this, so I'm gonna have to go and put that as my parent material, and then I have the emission strength here. And this now means that I should be able to grab the static mesh component from here. In here we can go and use the material parameter, which is called, no, the material slot Lambert1, don't ask me why, and here I can then go and adjust the emission strength, and that means I can now make it brighter or darker. There we go, that's sort of the functionality I needed to make that adjustment when we have that in our cinema. All right, it will be our screen. Okay, thank you, test sequence. I like it. Yes. Okay, good. Let's put that into the interior. Casual business female V12 and her mini-me clones. Yes, shaders, I suppose they, so you can't disable them, you can't switch them off. You need shaders for the textures and the materials to look, to appear on the objects. But what some games don't handle well is the pre-caching. That some games you find that when you start them, especially when you start them for the first time, Steam games particularly, they sometimes take a while to even start, and that's the shader pre-caching. And some games try to circumvent that, and they launch in immediately and wait for the shader to actually be needed, and then it gets compiled, and that's when you get the stuttering. Yeah, that is sometimes a little bit annoying, I agree. So let's go and let's make ourselves a new level sequence that takes care of all of that, like hiding the original screen, and in our case also hiding the curtain here. New level sequence. So we're going to put that into screen. Maybe let's go and make another one just for the screen here. And I'll call that one sub 3ds clock v1. And that is also 30 frames a second. Just for now, we're going to go and hide that. Oh no, actually, what am I doing? Let's go and let's put that on the open curtains one. That's a much better idea now that I think about it. So clock, let's go and do away with that. Just go and open that. Much better. Oh, interesting. Do you know what, Nate? That actually completely lines up with your bad experiences that you've had with before you did the BIOS reset, because I guess shader compilations, they take up a lot of resources, and if you ask the computer to do too much, it goes and gets too hot, crashes, whatever, and that probably was the issue. And like these things, we're going to go and add to here. Put them to a little folder, and we'll call that one dummy text, or let's call it for rent text actually. For rent text. Then in here we'll make those guys hidden. Perfect. And now this screen, oh, that's the curtain reference. That isn't even, that is just a reference, so that needs to be made invisible as well. Can go into dummy text, and this is the actual screen here, and that I think that is curved, isn't it? Yes, that is curved. So it's hard to see, whoops, it's hard to see where they're curving it towards. In, okay, cool, then I don't have to worry. I can just put my plate in front of it, and I don't really have to worry about it. I'm gonna go and pick a reference here to it. Put that in a little folder called the screen. And maybe also make that a little, give myself a little color here, because, you know, it's much happier when there's color in the sequencer, isn't there? There. Happy little folders with colors and stuff. No, shader compilation usually happens on the CPU. Shader execution usually happens on the GPU these days, but the compilation is a CPU thing. There's tons of stuff still happening on the CPU. They're trying to move tons of stuff onto the GPU, but shader compilation isn't, that's not a good fit for the GPU, I don't think. For whatever reason. I don't really understand it either. Here is that. That, I guess, we want to go and do the pivot again. Like here. Pivot is here. And then, I suppose, we want to go and make it play, first of all. Add you to this. Yes, we do. And probably this way around, maybe? No, of course not. It's the other way around. Because why would it? So that's this. And now all we need to do is make sure that sees the same position as that, or thereabouts. It sort of does. Maybe 20 times the size. Yes, look at that. 20 times the size is the charm. That just needs to come forward a a notch like so. Ha ha. Now that has a total cinema feel to it, doesn't it? Very cool. Look at that. Incredible. Bit of color correction. We've basically got it sorted. Is that cool or what? So very neat. Let's do that. So on here, static mesh component. On the static mesh component, let's use the material slot. On the slot, oh, I know, because this is an instance that gets created automatically, and it does not know that we want to, instead of using the engine version, we want to use mine. So we want to use MMJ's media plate opaque. That has the emission strength parameter, like we did in the testing thing. Now if I go and do this, then we have emission strength, and then we can go and put this down to maybe 0.2, 0.1. 0 is obviously going to be black, but 0.1 or thereabouts might just be what the doctor ordered. And we can also start it a little bit later, make it slower. I don't know how the timing is gonna work on this, but yeah, there's room for improvements and adjustments, but I like the idea that this is doing that for now. This is good. Okay, so that's coolness, right? I gotta say, this is pretty groovy. What else do we need to do in regards to organization here? The screen is that's the curtain. You might as well just leave these things as they are, with a little bit of luck. That luck in 3D. Have we ever had it? What happens if we bring up our master sequence and just go straight to shot 13 over here? Go look at this from here. Nice. So now really the only thing we need to do is we can probably make that shot a little bit longer here. Dim the lights. Dim the lights. As this happens, I think we should dim the lights. That is going to be a whole other level sequence, I think. Let's do it while we're here, huh? Me too. I like it when stuff works, because it so very, very rarely happens in 3D, doesn't it? I'm so used to things not working, having to find workarounds and all that. Yeah, so it's really nice to see things working. It really is. Let's use this track here for now and add a new sequence. That's shots, sub dim lights. That's right. There should only really be one variable, and for us to figure out why does this puzzle not work. It should never be several things counterproductively linking up against something that isn't working. I agree. This wants to be also 60 frames. And the lights we have in here, I think first of all our characters could probably go into the crowd folder just for organizational purposes. Move you to crowd. Yeah, all of you, exactly. Move to crowd. There's also tons of level sequences here that we can put into cinematics, and from there into the unused folder, because I do like to have them in there, but not quite yet. Slushy cup. Yeah, slushy cup. Where am I going to put that? Curtain reference. That's just all the set, isn't it? Yeah, you go into the set. Curtain reference and the clock, I'm thinking, and the text render actor. Those are all part of the curtain, I'm thinking. Or part of the screen. And the screen also technically is part of the set. So let's go and put that in there. And now we're left with lights. That don't seem to be... Oh, there we go. Lighting. Now that's a lot of lights. How can we tell which ones do what? Ascania, how's it going? You're at an age where you shouldn't be surprised that certain things no longer work. Body things, you think? Good to see you, good to see you. Happy Monday. So all of these lights we put in here, didn't we? Did I not? Jay's lights, there we go. Yes, that's Jay's lights. I'm so glad. Jay's lights, and which ones are the auditorium? Yes, there we go. So corner and detail lights and foyer, those are the ones we don't care about. It's only these ones that we care about. Perfect. So let me select literally all of them here. All descendants in auditorium. And that sounds crazy, but I'm going to go and put them all onto here. 20 actors. That's a lot, but that means we can go and control them all. Eventually. Did I save it? Monday, but the happy is questionable. Well, just in case it's not happy, I think that's why I'm wishing you a happy one. Dang. Hours later. Oh, by the way, the paralysis race, my first attempt to follow the van was unsuccessful. And I was thinking, oh, that's a shame. I really wanted to investigate the story a bit more. And thankfully, I had some autosave, so I could just go back to just before the van left. And then I just tried it again, which is... So it worked. It worked. And I've done something else. The PlayStation came up with a way for me to register my account with the Project Red people. So now apparently not only do I get some funky goodies in my stash, I can also use the same save game between PS5 and the PC version, which is pretty cool. Not that I have the PC version, but if I had it, that'd be kind of cool, because the version of Cyberpunk that I have is currently tied to the PS5 Plus. So if I ever decide not to subscribe, or if that game ever leaves, my progress is sort of saved. So yeah, hey, look at that. This is great. This is great. Yes. How do I do this here? We've got I have the corridor lights. Let me go and group them the same as they are here. So corridor. Sadly, the folders don't sync. Corridor lights, we probably won't even see them. Then we have auditorium main. Move to folder. Organization is just the most important thing in animation, isn't it? auditorium main, and then by definition, I suppose, anything that's left over no, it's not. We've got the ceiling lights and the side lights and the back lights. And we've got the Brian light. Okay. I say we're going to call those other lights. Or misc lights or something like that. Oops. I forgot, on the shots you got to use darker colors, but on the sequencer you want to probably use lighter colors here. And the main lights here, let's make them maybe something like an orangey yellow, like so. Yes, perfect. Okay, save. Control Shift S, so important. OBS is happy. Yes, OBS is happy. Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's see when we want to dim the lights. Oh yeah, one other thing I want to bring up is the light mixer on my other screen here. This is what it looks like. I have the same layout that I have in the scene outliner, but I only see lights. I don't see static meshes, skeletal meshes. I only see lights, and I can also go and group these together here. So they're sort of grouped in folders already, but I can now go and say anything in the auditorium. I can go and you know, drop down by the same value. So I'll do that from here rather than on a per object basis. So let's dim the main lights first. So I'll go and give this keyframes as we have them here, so that we can begin like that. These guys, this and that. I'm just going to isolate these so that I don't see anything else. And then maybe sort of here, maybe frame 90. That's a good start to dim. 90 to maybe 150. That's when we want them to go out. I'm thinking. Perfect. We might not even have to dim that many other lights. So the ceiling light for sure, but the side lights, I might actually leave them. Also, this I might not bring it down to 0 completely, but just give it like 0.5 or something, or 0.1 in that case, just so that we can still read a bit of, you know, there's still stuff here. So pitch black would be wrong. Say the scene ends here. So now the ceiling light. Do we have ceiling lights? We've got the corridor lights, which we didn't even see. Other lights. Is that it here? Ceiling lights. See, ceiling auditorium. These are them. Yes, so those in particular. 1 and 3. 5 does nothing. Okay, great. So 1, 3, and 4 is really the only ones we need to worry about. 1, 3, and 4. So keyframe, add current value on first frame. We leave all that until, what did we say, frame 90, I believe? And then frame 150, we drop it down here, 0.2 maybe? Yeah, because 0, we don't see the ceiling. 0.2, 0.3. That's cool. Here we have 1, so putting that to 0, we didn't even see that. Did we? Which one was this here? Auditorium 3? 3, that's here, so we barely see that if it's on or not. We might as well put it to 0. And then 4, that was, oh yeah, that was on that side, so that's also cool. Let's make that 0. And then 5, we said does nothing. I barely see it. There's other things here, so we're going to dim those down, but that's the ceiling lights. We might as well put it to 2.2. Excellent. So the main lights are done. Then those lights, corridor lights we don't see. And then we have these guys here, the back lights. That's down here, so we don't even see it, so that's quite nice. Side lights, we should dim those. Oops. Side lights, like so, yes. Those get dimmed, perfect. And then Brian's light as well. They're only 0.5, so that's not bad either. And then 150. These guys, should they be completely off? Yeah, once again, like 0.2 perhaps, instead of totally off. Or perhaps not. Oh, the special! Yes, what do we have today? The Grammar Police special! I like it. Well, enjoy. Well spotted. Well spotted, Brian. I'm wondering if this is now a tad too dark. It isn't really, it's just I think the screen is now too bright, so let's go and make that less bright as well. Save, adjust brightness for the screen. Adjust screen brightness. Where was the screen? Do you remember that? Well, was that in the shot? It was. Screen, here it is. Emission strength, so we can dim it as well, but I think it was a little hot to begin with, so maybe just 0.05 then, 0.03 perhaps even. And this is now animating. We probably don't want to do that either. We can just go and take the first keyframe away here and just have the air. There we go. That's the spirit. Comes with a side of Karen's guilt trip fries. I like it. Oh, and then do we need to dim the Brian light? Actually, perhaps not. I think maybe Brian's light, much like the light at the front here, that can just stay. Unless we do want to dim this light as well. Maybe we don't. I'm sort of okay leaving it like that. What do you think? This light and that light, do we also want to dim those? Because we totally can. We've totally got the capacity and all. This is one thing I really like about Unreal Engine, that you can preview stuff like that in real time and just watch it 100 times, make up your mind, make changes. Because only then can you sometimes tell, is this better or not? I'm thinking the more I'm looking at it now, perhaps we should dim them down as well. Just because the light is catching the curtain there a little bit. Maybe we'll go and dim those down. Let's dim those down. That's up here then, again, with this one here. Can I assign a color to these guys? Is that possible? Color tint, OMG, it's possible. Can we make it green? Yes! Look at that, I didn't know you could do that with subsequences. Oh, that is pretty cool. Oh, that is good. I'm totally going to implement that immediately. That really helps my brain to just decipher what's what here. Like to say these are all the same color. Let's say blue. And then this, one of them could say red, but since I see red so much, maybe I'll use this here. Maybe make that a bit gray. Perfect, look at that. This is neat. Now I know what belongs together and what needs special treatment. So I bet that's in other lights. Hide these guys. There's this one here. Is that the corridor light? Yes. Okay, so that's the corridor light. And the other one is the Brian light, isn't it? Yes. In fact, there's one other corridor light here that we catch it. That's 7. That one's 7, and this one is 10. Okay, 7 and 10. Gotcha. Corridor light 7 and 10. So from here to here, same value. From here to there, zilch value. Ding. All right, that's you. I either know because I've put the keyframes on the wrong things. Dang. I've accidentally put them on the wrong track here. Sorry. That keyframe should have been here. That goes here, and then from here to there. There. Now, dimmability has been restored. That's number 7, and the other one was number 10, wasn't it? Yes. This happened to be the same values here. Ding. Oops, sake of argument, put that back here too. Or even leave that there a little bit. Cool. And then one more. That's the Brian light. So there is another one then. That is the Brian light. What is the... That's that. What else is it that's causing light down there then? I'm wondering. That's the one we've animated away. How does Brian's light still illuminate even though the intensity is set to 0? All lights are Brian lights. That does not make much sense. If I move it, if I remove it completely, then it's physically off. But an intensity of 0 should really mean 0, shouldn't it? Except it hasn't done it. Look at that. In the sequencer it tells me it's 0. But in the details panel it tells me it is not 0. Answers on a postcard for that. That is just insane. Why would it? Now it's -1 is the same as 0. Yes. Do you think it's the head? That makes no sense, does it? Come on, it makes no sense. 0 is actually 0.5 and -1 is actually 0. Right. Oh, so 0.2 is really -0.6. Do you know, I wouldn't mind if the mathematical explanation behind this is, well, you know, Jay, candles and intensity, those are different values and objects under the hood, yada, yada, yada. If you were Alan Turing, you would understand it, but clearly you're too dumb to get it. Totally fine if you had labeled intensity and intensity differently, but you haven't. Hence, it's a bug. Hence, Jay is getting frustrated. Only lightheartedly so. So, I don't mind a little bit of light here. Maybe 0.3, like -0.5. And then we can live with that. Well, that's the interior dimmed and the screen in place, and yet another milestone in the amazing advancement of Jay's new title sequence comes to town. I'm gonna go and save everything. This was the light mix I was fiddling around with on the other screen. And let me go and, in fact, let's go back out in the auditorium now and fiddle with the people I couldn't fix last time. Bring the lights back, there we go. Yes, you, all of you, I'm totally looking at you. You are, I think, in shot. Yeah, there we go, all of you. All of you here in... Let me see which of these guys... Could it be foyer crowd? Foyer crowd number 3, that could well be. These guys, let me see. You guys deactivate, yes, so that's them. That's pretty cool. So let me go and deactivate foyer crowd 1 and 2. And also the auditorium crowd, because we don't really need them right now. And the proxies we're gonna keep. There's a couple of other things going on here, maybe. Oh, this, yeah, these guys here. I'm wondering if Kevin and Camilla how did I put them on here? This Outliner has a nice feature that tells you which sequencer is taking care of it, but it's disabled. So RL, Kevin, and Camilla. I think it's on the shot here. RL, Kevin, and Camilla. There we go. Perfect. Woo, brilliant. Now, do we need to adjust their size? Do we even want to bother with the size adjustment, or shall we just leave everything as it is here? Because maybe we don't really mind in this case. If I make them taller, they're gonna maybe bang their heads, so maybe we're gonna leave them as they are. Which then also means I don't have to worry about any of these guys here. I was just gonna go and replace them with the correct size people to stand around, but maybe we don't need to do that. In which case, we can focus on a few other things, like these guys. Have these guys got the right size? Because I think we haven't fixed them. See, no, these guys, they need adjusting more than the other guys. I'm a little concerned about her here. I don't know why she's walking behind the sign. I don't think we want to see that, unless that's already disabled at that point. But yeah, so I'll just go and fix the size of these people. Some of them may already have an animation blueprint, so they only need to be plugged in. We go and isolate the whole folder here and just start top of the list here. So basically the same as on Saturday. This is going to be easy. So you don't know if we have an animation blueprint for you yet, sir. We certainly want to do that. Switch you into blueprint mode. Takes a hot moment. Oh, you see, this didn't work because RL sequence shot 9. It's another bug in Unreal Engine. I have to call this up separately, not as part of a sequence, otherwise this isn't gonna show. So RL sequence shot 09. Man, the stuff you gotta shot 09. The stuff you gotta go through. These guys can be hidden, and then you. Yeah, now it's working here. You don't have an animation blueprint. Okay, let's go and make you one. Call you that, and do we all remember how it works? Because I may have forgotten already. Let's see if we can remember. And then we can wrap this up, hopefully before the top of the hour. Let's do that. Okay, first of all, something about slot. Default slot. Then we go local to component. Then we go transform modify bone, and then we go back into here, and that gives us a component to local node again. This is good. We also need a dynamic scale variable, and we're going to make that a float, expose it to cinematics, drag it in here, add it to the scale input. That gives us that. Quickly compile. This is yelling at me because we're not having a bone selected, so he's walking, so this time I need the root bone, and I want to go and change the scale, so replace existing. Let's go and compile, and my man should really be bigger, but because we didn't set the correct 1.3 value to height, he did not do that. I sort of forgot, was it 1.3 or was it 1.2 here? Giant man. Perhaps 1.2 is ample enough for waiting in line. That's good to remember. Yes. And of course the bots need that as well. Although it is conceivable that they might be smaller. But all of this we can copy out. And just keep replacing people. You there. I think the toughest part is understanding what is a quirk, what is a workflow that you have to adhere to, and what is a bug. Okay, I think that is the biggest hurdle to figure out. If you have something where you think, well, my logic says this is how it should work, but my observation tells me it is not how it works, so where does that leave me? Look at that, the bot likes you, Brian. That's nice. (1.2) Ding, compile, and my man is growing taller. This is great. Put you into here, and there he is. Very nice. Good stuff. Okay, you also go. And then we have you. Now you, I know for a fact that we have an animation blueprint with your name on it, but it might just be a copy of you and not the real you. Yeah, it's not the real you, is it? So let's go and do that here. float, cinematics, compile, 1.2, paste, connect, compile, go back, put in here. Lady is totally standing there waiting. It's all good. Yeah, there's Maureen Callahan again as well. So lots of people have existing animation blueprints, but we just can't really, because they're duplicates of duplicates. They have no memory of anything. Connect this to that, compile that, this goes and does this. So you need a keyframe here. We do that, we do this. My man is tall. All right. Thanks, buddy. Dummy. So I'll put it out for the vote. Should the dummies also change size? Do let me know. I'm gonna go and make it. I'm gonna make it a vote. I think I can do that here. Yes, even better. Vote like this. Start a poll. Should we change the size of the dummy waiters as well? You say yes or no. Well, I'm gonna focus on everyone who's not a dummy, like, you know, Kid. Big dummies, good idea. Let's make him really tall and call him big dummies. I like it. Engiggen the dummies. Embiggen. Oh, don't count on it. The bot totally knew what you meant. I bet. Yes, we should make them really, really tall. I like the idea. Dynamic scale. Expose to cinematics. Initial size. Paste code. Compile. Kid grows up. They grow up so fast, don't they? Oh, I see. There's tension. I like it. I like it. So we have 67% of you say yes, we should scale them up. 33% say no, we should leave them as they are. Ooh. Well, it's a tough race, I tell you that. They grow up so fast. Maureen Callahan, yeah, you're tiny. At the moment you are. At the moment you are. If you're wondering why we can't just use one of the animation blueprints we've already made, it's because an animation blueprint is tied to a skeletal mesh and you can't reuse them. You could duplicate it, but it's Unreal Engine likes getting confused if you swap out the skeletal mesh. It's sort of a cleaner approach if you just make a new one per skeleton, because then there's no ambiguity about what is, you know, what's kosher, what isn't. You know how Unreal Engine likes to get confused, so 75% of you say we should scale up the dummies. I think so too. I think let's scale up the dummies. Maureen, what do you say? Maureen, don't leave me. I think Maureen agrees. Okay, 2 more party people here. Like basically they're the same skeleton, but it's been imported as 2 different names. So in that respect, I could mark them as compatible, at which point I don't know if the animation blueprint would work on both. I'd rather not risk it. I'd rather just spend the extra couple of minutes to just make individual ones. Well, thank you for voting, everyone. I appreciate that. That means we will take care of the dummies as well. Only 9, Nate. I appreciate you not abusing the system. That is very kind of you. That's really grown up of you. Brian, classic. Too funny. Dynamic scale. Expose to cinematics. Float. Compile. Initial value. I think we should. So first of all, and this is just for science, I think we need right now where Nate's got an almost shaved head is actually the perfect opportunity. Nate, we need a high-res photo of you from straight ahead, from like, you know, face on, and 2 from either side, and you need to send them to Brian so that he can turn you into a new 3D version of yourself. It'll be like Nate 2026. I think we totally need that. And then once Brian's turned you into a character creator character, I think the 3 of us should be in a 3D episode of something together. So we'll all be all of us virtual doubles, and then we're going to go and animate ourselves and having a chat. We must do it. There's no other way. We must do that. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to totally animate us all with the tools we have available. I can't wait for that to happen. It'll be like a podcast, but with a 3D twist, and take forever to produce. But you know, hey, what else should we do with our lives anyway? It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Perfect. Fantastic. That could literally be the next project. Try to get that whole workflow up and running. I think we have something there. We can mingle with all these people. Another party woman. And then stretch goal, once we get all that done, eventually we're going to have ourselves with the cat running around in a 3D environment that is playable. Stretch goal. I'm not saying that's possible, but it could be possible. And then of course we're doing early access release, $99 on Steam, because, you know, early access support. I've seen a game that came out with an asking price, I think, of $30, but it was a solo developer, and there were basically no sales. And then he saw the light and reduced the price of the game to $6.99, but it's currently on sale for only $4.99. So it's prices and what they really mean, huh? Yeah. So tell me, Brian. Character Creator, Headshot 3 has this thing where even if you have a shadow on your face on one side, it can do this magic delighting. Is that right? Because that is sort of cool. All right, party woman. Woo! Custom mode animation blueprint. Put this in here. Woo! We have tall people. All right. Not that we're sizist, but hey. Also, then we need to maybe find these guys a nicer material. Like currently they're just like these nondescript guys. I would love for them to have something along the lines of a chrome body, maybe a gold body, perhaps a WP Guru logo projected on the chest. I think we could probably squeeze that in today. Oh, the great thing is we only need the head, so the body we can do anything we can, you know. Exactly, body is going to be no problem at all. Well, let's take care of you guys then. You need independent animation blueprints as well, of course. I don't know what parameters are exposed in the animation, in the material instance. So we may be able to just do all this on sequencer. That might actually be quite funky. Dynamic scale, float, exposed to cinematics, compile, 1 point. I think these guys might be a little bit larger here, 1.3 let's say. Compile, and my dude grows. My dude also gets his animation blueprint here. Blueprint, ding. All right, yes. How may I help you, sir? I'll see what's on here. It's material dummy PBR, that's the one. In dummy PBR we have them all. Look at that, that's great. So let's just see if metallicity, there's multiplier, there's normal. I might just make him funky texture really. Shouldn't really, that, I don't think that takes too long. What happens in the multiplier front here if I just multiply that by heaps? It does nothing. On 0, yeah, that really does nothing. So let's go and not do that on the sequencer. Let me go and make your he's so tiny, isn't he? Let's take care of your friend here. Ricky, how's it going? Nate, thank you so much. That is incredible. This is great. I haven't bought Headshot 3 yet. I'll wait a little bit and see what Brian says. If he says it's awesome, Brian and Leo, if you guys can make it work, I might consider it. But yeah, see what you can do with Nate. Make a Nate CC5 HD version, 2026 edition. It looks really cool. It looks like a really, really funky tool. But do let me know if 3 is worth the upgrade. I'm happy to stick with 2, because 2 wasn't terrible. 2 was already very, very good. So 3 might just be better. Yes, please do. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, because you have more experience with it. I have never even tried it. But if it's worth it, I would like to get the early bird offer type thing. Do you know, it's true, those photos would work better if you have a clean shaven face. If it's like short stubble like I have, it's gonna be fine, especially if we put more 3D stubble on it to hide it. But technically, yeah, it works better if you have a completely clean shaven face, which is why I was thinking you have a relatively clean shaven head right now. That might make it easier. I think for my photos I might also go and do a bit of a, not a complete head shave, but make it much shorter than it is right now. Because it's been growing out of proportion for a while, so I'm due a haircut for sure. Ricky, how's it going? What's happening? Thank you for joining. I'm just doing some final touch-ups here. And then we'll head over into Substance Painter and give these guys a funky material that screams robot. I knew there was something I'd forgotten, which is the dynamic scale here. Perfect. So you keyframe. It just grows so fast, doesn't it, Nate? It's just incredible. Yes, WP Guru logo on the chest. I think that's a must. Let's just save this here quickly and wiggle the playhead so that everyone comes back. And let's go and use your skeletal mesh and just export that out. Asset actions, export. You're going to be a FBX and you're going to be called the dummy. And that's just for textures. Can we do OBJ? We can't, can we? No, it has to be FBX. Source mesh, no collision. All right. Woohoo! I'll grab another coffee. Itanchi over on Twitch, how you doing? Good to see you, good to see you. Insert dancing party bird emoji here. Yes, exactly, Nate. Oh, coffee. This is actually almost the last of the Christmas blend. I did find half another bag this morning, which is really nice. Oh, you're trying to learn how to make a HQ VTuber avatar. Yes, that is quite the tall order, Itanchi. I totally agree. See if we can get this dummy textured here. 2K for now. That should be fine. If it even works. Yes, look at that. Look at the cute little guy. Very nice. My man. Let's go and bake stuff. Without ID map, 2K is probably enough for now. Yeah, let's do that. We can add some edge wear to it. Make him sort of worn and dirty rather than completely nice and shiny. I don't know what that is, Itachi. I don't know what Zen S is. Or Kaiju. Sorry. Alright, look at that. So we do that. We put a fill layer on my man. We do a bit of metallicity. And we say, bzzzt. Nice, look at that. Metal man. Might make him a little brighter. And also maybe make him a little less rough here. Make him super shiny. I think like a polished chrome type thing. That might be neat. And then, so this is like, let's call that one the base metal. And in the, oh, Zen is a VTuber? Yeah, I don't know him. Sorry. Them, I should say. Let's make another layer. This one's just going to be for maybe color and roughness. Color is going to be that. Roughness is going to be that. Oh yeah, and then this is still set to aces, so let's make that linear so we can actually see stuff here. That is going to be dirt. Add ourselves a black mask to it. In the mask, let's add a generator. In the generator, let's have a dirt generator. Oops. Dirt generator. Here, there we go. With edge masking, and now my man looks like he's been around the block for a few times. That is quite neat, isn't it? A dirt level. Do we want it to, how dirty do we want it to be? I mean, he's not the janitor robot, so triplanar. I think we're going to use the regular UV mapping. A giant dragon that has destructible buildings. Wow. Well, the dummy dudes are these guys here. So they are, we've got two here and we've got two over here, and they're serving the public, but they've been in operation for the last 20 years and they do some maintenance. I thought I might make them a little bit more interesting, and to distinguish them I might also give them a little bit of a color there. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing with these guys. Maybe third level. And there's some edge masking. Make that a little less. And if that's still too strong, we can go and take this down a tad. But I think, you know, I sort of like it like this. We could give it also some edge wear. Let's do that. So in this case, let's say underneath it, these guys are gold plated. I don't know how true that is. But let's say they are. So edge wear, let's say that. And we'll use a black mask in this as well. It's just terribly confusing in Substance Painter. If you're not used to how this works, we add another generator. And in this case, we say edge wear, fiberglass or metal. I think they'll probably both look cool. Maybe we'll use fiberglass. But I'm already not liking it that much. Let me try the other one. Let's get rid of that. Put that other generator in. Metal edge wear, because he is maybe made of metal. And also perhaps that's just a little bit of edge wear here. And now we have ourselves a seriously cool material with just a few clicks. Great! But of course, we need to also know that he's working for the WP Guru Corporation, so just save my project here real quick. Let's make another fill layer, and this is one that's going to be the logo. So that is going to be a warp projection. And for that, I think we need to add a couple of assets into here, namely WP Guru brand assets. Do we have an opacity map? We do. We do. That is cool, because that is what we need. I think let's bring those two guys in here. No guarantees it's going to work. This could go horribly wrong. In which case we're going to be fine without that. Current project dummy. Yes, let's do that. So you need to be in here. Oh, and do you read the alpha channel? You read the alpha channel. Oh, baby. That is great. And for this, I can either go and adjust the projection like that, or oops, dang, buddy. How do we do redo, undo, redo? Always make projection depth even bigger. WP just stands for wonderful person. It currently, I don't think it means anything anymore, but yeah, that's what I used to do, WordPress installation. So you're getting doorknob vibes, Itachi? How exciting! I don't know what that means either. There. We could also give him one on the back. That might be another layer. So that'll be logo front. And logo back is going to be like that. Yes. Not that we're going to see it, but if we were to see it, there's no doubt in who this guy belongs to. And we should put a serial number on the bottom, a serial or barcode. That would be neat. Barcode, that's sort of what we need, isn't it? Barcode on the face, that'd be good. Oh, okay. That's true. Yes, in that case, it is a doorknob. Yes, that now I get it. I get it. Thank you. Isn't that nice? Absolutely. All thanks to Substance Painter. I think I'm not entirely sure if the logo height is sort of correct here. I do feel like we should have a barcode or maybe blue light. That's another cool thing. We could have a light. I think there might be like a barcode asset in Substance Painter. Let me go and try that one out. Let's see if there is a barcode here. I don't know if there is. Could that be warp projection as well? Is there a barcode? No. That's the material. That's base color here. Do we have barcode? Barcode! Ay caramba, mamacita. Let's go the barcode. Ah, but we don't have a... We don't have an opacity map for this. So I could mask it out, or I can just take it into Substance into Photoshop and just quickly invert that so we can cut it out. There's also, I suppose, an invert filter. Might be nice here. Invert. Then we have this. So everything that's white would need to go out. Is there a possibility to do this with a level? Too many barcodes at work. Yeah, it's true. So if we add, is there a level filter? This grayscale conversion, but that's not what we need, is it? No, I do need to grab out that and then use the original as a mask. Yes, Brian, that should be possible, shouldn't it? How do we do that? If we add that as a mask, can we go and put, because it's sized up correctly. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Dang, I don't know how to do that. Oh, yeah, that would be good. We're nearly there. I feel like we're nearly there. It's almost like I need to just find this asset. And just export that? Export resource? Can I even just send it to Photoshop? Let's just export it the old-fashioned way. I just put it on the desktop for now. If I can find it. I love that the the difficult things are like done in 2 minutes, but then the moment it gets to the easy things, you go, oh, how am I going to do that? Always the same. So I think the easiest way is if I just had the alpha channel in there like I had with my logo. I didn't actually need the cutout for the logo. I could just use the alpha channel that was in the picture. What's new in Photoshop? Oh, and it's exported as a substance material. Can you open that, Photoshop? No, of course not. Of course you can't. That is show in Explorer, maybe? Dang. I feel like there should be a much easier way to do that. Add black mask, paste in the image. Let me try that. That'd be even better. So we add. You say we add a black mask. Check. Then we have a fill layer in here, right? And then we paste the image in here. Is that what we do? Barcode. And then we sort of invert that, I'm thinking, with the filter. Invert. Why would it even do that? Or grab a barcode as an image and just use that. Let me just do that. There's even a barcode generator. Look at that. No, not that. But we could use that. Barcode generator tool. No, not that either. We could just use the one from QR code for Rickroll. Good idea. We could do that. Yes, I'm thinking like something like that. Look, there's the opacity is already in here. Save image as to desktop. Because then I don't think we need a mask. Let me start again. Let me go with another one. It'll be the wiki barcode. So that's going to be the wall projection. And we need to have that as an imported asset into my project. That definitely has alpha in it. And it's a texture. Yes. That can go in here. Yes, look at that. Nicely masked off, and even has that number on the bottom if we needed it. Scale it down, projection depth, make it 1. Let's enjoy ourselves. And if we don't want the number, or if the barcode is actually quite tall, so it's wide. Yeah, I think we're okay with the number. I might just mask part of it off and make it slightly less long. So I think just a few. Add a white mask, technically. White mask. In there we want a paint layer. And I'll just do a bit of a botched job. Removing that. Oops. Great, because then I can go back to this and then I can just do. Well, that is, I had expected that to look slightly differently, but it sort of still works. Just a little bit more painting, and I think that we're done. There. Barcode. Do we need... Nate is in 3D already. Oh my god, that was fast. Paint his abs. Yeah, good idea. Very nice idea. Does he need an operating light somewhere? I feel like maybe here could be a good position for a light. We don't need this anymore. Maybe save him and just add one more layer here. Make it a fill layer and put that over here. And let's make it something like a... Oh, we don't have an emissive channel here for that. Maybe we'll do that with an attachment if we wanted to do that. I'm thinking we don't have an emissive channel because my shader doesn't have it. How do I do that again? I think we do that here, emissive, adding an emissive channel. And let's make it something like blue, green. Plus emissive. And then we can always make it stronger if we want to. Let's say this is an operating light, and we'll add a black mask to it. And I don't know where we want it. Like just on his face? That would be bad, wouldn't it? Maybe here. Yeah, somewhere like here. That might be nice. Could have the pen tool or something like a stencil-y thing. How do I do that again with the... How do I use something as a stencil again in there? Like that I paint with something like an alpha I drag out. I don't remember. I mean, I could do a path. It just needs eyes. Well, maybe I can just draw on the eyes. Well, it's not quite what I had in mind. But that's probably because I'm not using the right brush here. Do we have eyes? We do. Oh my. We should have something like this. And then not have that as a path. No, don't do that. No path. Use this. Maybe one eye is enough. Change the alpha on the brush. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure if it's going to work so well. Could be cool, especially if we add something like a height. Very funny. Let's see what else they have here. And then maybe with a new paint layer. So this is here recycle, just so that we know what's what. There's always this. That might be neat. To make it much more friendly here for people. Could even then go and can I invert that? No, that's not what we meant. Yeah, together with the eyes, and then we just mask off the outside bit here. Nice one, look at that. I mean, who's not gonna speak to a friendly robot like that? It's incredible how much fun you can have with these tools. Oh, especially also if we instead of use the green, we can just do something like a crazy pink. Yeah, really, all I would want to do here is get rid of the outside bit here. But I think that can be. This is nice. And then we have different versions of my guy here. I think here the only thing I want to do here is add a just use eraser maybe. Does that work? Yes, look at that, perfect. Do it the old-fashioned manual way. I'm sure there's a much better way to do that non-destructively. I just don't recall how to do it. Hey, this is fun. Why can't 3D be fun like that all the time? This is really the moments that we want out of 3D, isn't it? And now we just put black dots in his eyes and then we're done. I don't know. I sort of like him without the face as well. I just feel like he needs something like a glowing head. Why can't anything be fun like that all the time? I agree. I like him faceless as well. Let's keep it in here in the Substance project, and then if we change our minds, we can always do that. I like it. I like it. We've got the edge masking. Considering what we started with, which was this, from that to that, I say we've done well. I think there's one thing I just want to quickly add here, just a little bit of a height variation. Hope that's on the back. Oh, no, 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 can't be done. That's a shame. Okay, forget height on the logo. How about the normal on the... Oh, no, it can't be done either. Fine, we'll leave it like this. It's cool. Okay, Control Shift E, and we don't need the emissive in this case. Let's see if we can add it to our guys here. This is what the textures look like here. Dummy. I'll add that into Jay's Theater here. And then from here, well, it's actually the dummy robot, isn't it? Okay, we'll add this into the Unreal Engine, specifically let's call it here Jay's Metal Textures. Put that in here, good stuff. And I'm sure you have a material. Jay's metal is going to be fine for this. I'm assuming we have ways to ORM, we've got diffuse, and we've got the normal. Perfect. So that should be this, that should be that, and then this is going to be that. Let's see if it works. Like you can be here. Material slots. It works! Look at that, our guys in Unreal Engine. Is that cool or what? That's just incredible. 50,000 button clicks later, but it works! That is just too cool. That is just too cool. And user, there we go. That's what he looks like when he's in behind the thing. We can do that here too. Add you to here. Wiggle this around a bit. Nice one. I don't know if they're going to read well enough, but I'm excited that it looks exactly like what we had in Substance Painter. That is just great. Oh, how funky. I can even add a little idle animation to them at one point, but hey, that's just cool. Let's just do the same thing, replacing these guys also on the other stand. I don't remember what that was called here. The concession stand. Ah, that was just cool, wasn't it? I like it. I like it. Because that was here, and then we have that was in here. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. What did I call them here? I'll have to bring up this again, the big sequence, and see if that all lines up. There we go. That's them. How about you guys? Are you sized up? No, you guys are not sized up, so we need to do that another day too. I'll just place the texture on him here. You can be like that, and you, whoops. He's totally shy. He doesn't want to. There we go. Yeah, so these guys need to be sized up, but I don't think I'll do that today. I think I'm going to end on a high note, and let's go and take care of the last sizing here on Saturday. So that's just these guys, and I think then we're pretty much done. I think lighting wise, I'm okay here. In the foyer, I think these guys, yeah, I just want to make those like a little bit bigger. And then we're done, I think, with the interior. Exterior, we might just add a few more people, perhaps, or we're just going to leave it as it is. Yeah, these guys, they just need to be a little bit taller here. 1.2 will make him, and then we're good, I think. Now I'm looking forward to having a look at Nate on the Discord. I appreciate all your help and all your patience and your suggestions. Really appreciate it. Mr. Rod, Mr. Rod's just saying hello. That is cool. Rod, in case you hadn't seen it, Rod's on over on Twitch there. This is the little guy that we've just made. A few textures here just on the, you know, on the download. Just put a few funky robot textures on my guy who was otherwise just very, you know, very plain. And he's the robot waiter of the 21st century. I'm going to call it a day, guys. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be back on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have fun and stay creative. Take care. Bye-bye.